What is up, Glory Gang? Welcome back to another episode of the Glory Boys podcast.
Yo.
I'm one of your hosts, Austin.
I'm Darren.
And in this episode, we have a very special guest. His name is Luke, and we'll tell you all about him. But before we do that, let's roll that intro.
Let's go. All right, so in this episode, we're doing something a little different. We're bringing on a homie. We have tons of amazing friends, and we're like, why would we not have them on our podcast?
Right.
So Luke is an incredible guy. He interned with Glory Visuals for a few months. He drums at our church. He's a really, really great drummer and just an awesome dude. And he actually just gave us a really awesome gift basket for his internship, and it had a picture of us. It had some Pokemon cards. It had these C4s in it. It had all kinds of thoughtful things.
Yeah.
All the things that we love. So anyway, that just speaks to a little bit of how awesome this guy is. And we've had a blast hanging out with him and shooting with him. But yeah, all around, he's just an incredible dude. And we're just super stoked to have you.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, Luke, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your background? Where are you from? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Why did, we'll get to why you decided to intern for us and all that, but...
Yeah, so my name is Luke Wagner. I was born in 2001, and I'm 20 years old. Like to play drums a lot. I like music. It's kind of all I do, and yeah.
What's one of your favorite bands, or what's like something you like to drum to?
My favorite genre of music is jazz, so I like John Coltrane, John Scofield, Clifford Brown, and all those guys. But favorite band,
maybe not favorite, but maybe one that you just like a lot.
So bands I like a lot, like Rage Against the Machine is a band I like a lot. I like Tool,
Nice.
John Mayer, which those don't really mix great. But the reason why I like John Mayer is, I like his music, but two of my favorite drummers played for him.
Yeah, he's awesome. I saw him live one time.
Yeah, I did too.
It was incredible.
My favorite concert.
Yeah,
by
same.
far.
Didn't you just do a John Mayer cover
I did.
concert here recently?
Yeah, me and some friends, we put together a John Mayer tribute show, and it was very well received. So there might be more.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
R.I.P. John Mayer.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you could do tributes when they're still alive, but I guess you can.
Right.
Yeah.
You can.
For
Nice.
sure.
John Mayer is not dead, just so you know.
Very well alive.
Yeah. So, and you're going to school right now?
I just graduated school
Okay.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you did.
So
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Now I have to adult and do adult things and
Yep.
pay bills and get a job.
So what were you going to school for?
I was going to school at Metropolitan Community College for audio and video communications.
Mm-hmm.
So like movie set stuff and like news broadcast stuff. Also like music studio recording and movie Foley recording as well.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
great.
that's kind of what I did. But that's not my passion or what I wanted to pursue in life.
Mm-hmm.
I like it as a hobby,
Yeah.
but it was the only school that gave me a scholarship, and I didn't want to be graduating with debt.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of why I went there.
Heck yeah.
And it was only 2 years.
That's
but
just smart. That's just being smart right there.
yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So a part of that, how did you come about? I guess you reached out to us about
Yes.
doing an internship with us.
Mhm.
You said the school has other options that you can do, but you really
Yeah.
wanted to choose. And so, just walk us through like that whole process. And
Going into my last quarter, I had two classes. One was my advanced screenplay writing class, which you had to finish writing your full movie. And then I had to do like a gen ed that was really boring. And then the third thing was in order to graduate, I had to do an internship. And there's a production company in Omaha, I can't remember what it's called, but that's mainly what the school goes through if you don't have something you want to choose.
Yeah.
I met you guys through church, and I only knew you guys as like, oh, you're two guys that sing on the worship team.
yeah,
And they're really cool. Well, then I got hired by my friend Eleni Baker and her husband Nate to do a music video shoot. And when I showed up, you guys were the people that were shooting it. And I was like, oh, I know you guys. That's how I got introduced to you guys as like videographers and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember I talked to you briefly. I was like, hey, like if you guys are like looking for like part-time people or just like freelance volunteers, like hit me up.
Yeah.
And that was before my last quarter of school. But then going into school, they're like, oh, you need to do an internship. I was like, oh, Austin and Darren, they have production company that they do. So I was like, and so I reached out to you guys, but you guys were out of town, I think in Arizona maybe.
Yeah.
For a wedding. And
yeah, you were trying to get a hold of us.
Yeah. It was like school, like that quarter already started. And it was like 2 weeks in. My teacher was like, hey, Luke, like who are you doing your like internship with? And I was like, oh, like I'm still like working out the details with them. They're out of town right now. He's like, oh, okay. So then you guys finally got back into town, and then we worked things out, and then that's kind of how it started.
Yeah, I remember getting the call, and we were like on the shoot or something. You're like, hey guys, like I'm so sorry to bother you, but like I have to know like by today. And we're like, frick. So then we were like, oh, absolutely. After we like talked through it, and it made complete sense to have you come on and hang out with us.
Yeah, and honestly, having someone reach out to be an intern, we've had that happen before. But it never really made sense until you reached out, and it was interesting. Like, it's somebody to help out with the work, but you almost have to like, I mean, you still have to kind of onboard and like do some level of like training or whatever. And so I remember for the first couple weeks, like you pretty much just would watch us do what we were doing. And then, you know, a couple weeks later, I actually was able to give you an edit and see, you know, how you did with that. And I mean, you crushed it. So
Yeah,
that was cool.
So what was your favorite thing interning as a GV intern? What was like your favorite thing about it? What's something you learned about?
I have a couple answers for this. So
Yeah.
all my teachers at school, they're all more of like the old school, like documentary style, like editors. And so like no jump cuts. If you're going to cut, you have to put a picture or a video over top of it so you don't see it. But you guys, like for the podcast, like there's jump cuts, there's this, there's that. And you guys taught me how to edit like a modern styled video. And so like I did online church worship set. I did 1 or 2 podcasts, I think. And then one of the
Nyman Ranch
videos.
Yep.
And that was very like educational and stuff. And I took a lot from that. And I'm going to be shooting a project with my friend Sandy to promote her new music that'll be coming out. And I'm going to be taking those educational things I learned and implementing them into that.
Sick.
My favorite thing that I took away from it was just being with you guys and hanging out with you guys. That was a lot of fun. I have a lot of friends, but I don't really hang out with a lot of people very much.
Yeah.
And so hanging out with some of the greatest people ever on earth and also knocking out the class in school. And that stuff was a lot of fun. Like going on the road trip to Iowa.
Yeah, that was sick.
Getting pizza.
Yeah.
And then, music video shoot. Both music video shoots were fun.
Yeah.
One was working with you guys and one was, well, I guess they were both working, but one was on one side of the camera and one was on the other.
Yeah.
And then messing around in the office with like tech decks and Pokemon cards and stuff.
We are children.
Yeah.
Truth.
No, that's awesome, man. That means a lot. I'm glad that you had a good time. We try to have fun in this company. Obviously, we're professionals. We love what we do, but we also like want to have fun and bring people along in the journey. So that's awesome. One of my favorite things is the road trip was really awesome. And like just hanging out with pigs, the cute little piggies, and like going to Pizza Ranch was really, really fun. Like that was such a fun moment. Like nobody else was there. The town was like completely dead. We roll into this Pizza Ranch and we order like $80 worth of food. And they didn't have a buffet because COVID ruins everything. But this one lady.
One lady working.
One lady. What was her name? Barb?
Barb. Pretty sure it was Barb.
It's Barb, right?
Barb, Beth, or Ruth.
I think it was Barb.
I'm pretty sure it was Barb.
I think it was Barb. But Barb was the homie. And she made us like a bunch of pizzas, and we got dessert pizza. I got gluten-free dessert pizza.
For free
because she was a homie. We got hot wings. I mean, we just went to town, but that was like a ton of fun. I loved that. We need to go to Pizza Ranch again soon.
Yes, very much fun.
If you don't know what Pizza Ranch is, it's if you're not from the Midwest, it is very much a Midwest pizza place, but it mostly focuses on their fried chicken, I would say. I mean, it's like fried chicken and pizza, which is, I don't know if that's a Midwest thing,
like
but
combine KFC and Pizza Hut,
but
but
better.
like better.
Yeah, that's
Way
a great
better.
way. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So Luke, now that you've completed your internship, you've graduated college, like what's in store for you? What do you want to do? What are you pursuing right now? What do you see yourself doing long term?
Right now, I'm not in any rush to look for full-time work, which normally that's like the big thing when people graduate, like, oh, what job are you going to look at? Like, what are you applying for? What are you interested in? I know I went to a community college, but it was very stressful, especially that last little half.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just kind of just taking a break and just relaxing and just enjoy life a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I want to mainly focus on music and that whole thing. And so next summer, I will be going on tour with a band from the UK. And there's really no point in looking for a full-time job with like benefits and all that stuff if I'm just going to be hopping ship in the summer, you know?
Right.
And so that's just kind of where I'm at. I just want to focus on putting a lot of my energy into that, learning their set, like becoming friends with them. So like when they come over here, it's not like a huge like culture shock or anything.
Yeah.
But for right now, like at the moment, I'm going to be moving into a place called Music House, and it's a music residency. You get to stay there, rent utility free.
Wow.
And you just take care of the property like it's your own house.
Yeah.
And it's a space where you can like write, create, whatever it is. And I'm going to be there for 7 or 8 months, I think.
Dang, that's cool.
And so,
Where is that here?
yeah,
Oh,
it's in Little Italy.
Wow. Do you have to like apply for that or something?
No.
Get approved, or how does that work?
So I know I'm friends with the guy who started it, and his name's Jeff Davis, and he runs Playing with Fire Music Festival and Music for the City, and he used to own a big construction company that built like the first national building, I think, and the pedestrian bridge.
Cool.
And so he's like a huge music supporter, and so he bought this house and like did it up real nice and stuff. And so now that's what he wants to do with it, is make like a music residency for artists and stuff. And
That's
so he
sweet.
reached out to me. He's like, hey, like, is this something you'd be interested in? I was like, yes. And at first, like, he took me to the house and I was like, oh my gosh, this is almost like too nice and too good to be true.
Yeah.
And so I was like a little nervous. I was like, gosh, what am I going to do for 8 months in this house? You know? But after like thinking on it and just reflecting, I was like, okay, this is obviously the next step, because like, right, I want to do music for a living. This is like the yellow brick road
Right,
to
right.
doing that. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah. A place to live for 7 months for free,
To focus
and
on
a
music.
nice house to focus on what I want to do.
Yeah.
Should I do that or not?
Exactly. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. And the project, and he's like, and so Jeff's like, all right, Luke, this is the deal. It's like, you live here, just take care of the property, pull weeds, do a couple projects with me in the fall, like some outdoor stuff. And then, but everything else is just like free game, really.
Wow.
And so I've been thinking it would be like a 1 song a month project. So by the end of it, probably 6 or 7 songs. And just get all my friends on board on it and just write and record 6 or 7 songs, and then release it as an EP.
Nice.
Sick.
So
I love it.
Multi-genre, just kind of hit everything, because I have a bunch of friends who dwell in all the genres. So maybe have a worship song, hip-hop song, jazz, blues, pop, whatever.
Sick. I
If you
love
need
it.
vocal features, hit us up.
That's what I was I know, seriously.
Dude, that'd be so fun.
Yeah, I've said that to several people kind of jokingly, but someday, it'll actually happen.
We've been talking about it for like 4 years. Like, we'd love to put out even just a single would be fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we will someday, and we can focus a little bit more on that. But we have amazingly talented producers and musicians and people like in our circle and at our church that just, are stupid good at everything they do. So it's cool to have that little community of people to, hey, we want to put together a project. Cool. I'll just call all my friends.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. I like that.
No, that's awesome. That's super exciting for you. All right, Luke, before we wrap up this episode of the podcast, tell us something. What do you got for our listeners? What's a word of encouragement, something that you have carried with you your entire life or learned from your dad or, whatever? Give us something.
A word of the day is connections. Always, like if you're on a video shoot, at a gig, whatever, like make sure like you introduce yourself to the people that organize it or the people you're shooting. Like make sure like they're not just hiring you for a video, but like, hey, like I can do future work with you guys, or I'm down to play more gigs with you, or this or that. Because that's how Music House became a thing. So I played a music festival that Jeff Davis put on, and that's how I met him. And that's how he introduced me to the band from the UK. And then something I learned from you guys is like on a shoot, like you don't have to just be the guy behind the camera. Like you can socialize, get to know your talent, and like be comfortable with them.
Yeah.
Because then that just that breaks down that wall of like awkward whatever. And so connections, because then who knows what some of your people that you shoot will want to do next. You know? It's like, oh, one music video. Okay, well 10 years later, oh, we've done 15 with them, or this or that. So even if the talent or whoever you're working with might not be the greatest person, don't burn the bridge with them, because they know people who know people who know people. And so like always leave on a good note.
Yeah.
Leave on a good note, and then I guess the future will always be kind of bright for you after that, because it's always been for me, and I've always tried to leave on a good note. And even when it's hard, like, oh man, that person kind of was kind of hard to work with, but you just kind of just put on a face and just be happy in the moment, and then just shake their hand and be happy and be glad that you worked with them, and then move on. But yeah, no, connections.
Yeah.
That's the one thing.
Word of the day.
Yeah.
Word of the day, connection.
Love it. Yeah, that relates a lot to us working on a wedding day, and we've talked about that in the past. But yeah, relationships and leaving every encounter with someone, hoping that they have a good taste in their mouth from having met you and talked to you. So
Yep.
love that. Well, Luke, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. And we wish you the best of luck in all of your future endeavors with music and everything that you decide to do. I'm confident that you'll kill it no matter what.
That's right.
And yeah, thanks, man.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're the best.
All right, guys, that was it for this episode of the Glory Boys podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe for future content. Hit the bell to be notified whenever we drop podcasts on Wednesdays. We're dropping unboxings, reviews, all kind of stuff on Fridays. So make sure you hit the bell to be notified of that.
Yeah.
If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, it would mean a lot to us if you leave us a review, letting us know what you think of the value provided by this content. And let us know what you want to see more of. Let us know if you have a podcast topic. You can email us at hello@gloryvisuals.com.